In this movie, we'll learn a little bit more about text and arrays by creating a text game. This file can be found in text_game in the Chapter 8 folder. Let's take a look at it. We have a text field that accepts a name with a name_txt set to single line with a border around the text. Text field that accepts a verb called the verb_txt. Text field that accepts a noun called noun_txt. This button is called generate_MC. It's a movie clip. And this text field is called game_txt. What we're going to do with this game is put text values inside of these fields and then generate some text randomly inside of the body text field. Let's go to our code. Click on the first keyframe of the Actions layer and open up the Actions panel. The first line, we have a variable called your name that's a string, and we have not yet given that variable a value. Then we have an event listener attached to generate_MC, listening for a click. Then it will run the onClick event handler, which is defined right here, which will just basically fill game_text with some text. Let's test the movie and take a look at it. Click the Generate button, and we have some text in the text field. The first thing we'll do is replace the name with your name. Close out that window. After the open curly brace of the onClick event handler, press Enter on your keyboard and type your and then name with a capital N. Then type space equals space, and then type your name in quotes. Open quote, going to type Todd, you can type your own name, close quote, and a semicolon. Now I'm going to select the text that says Jerry in the next line and delete it. Now I'm going to put my cursor before the open quote, and then I'm going to type your and then name with capital N, which is the variable that we gave the value to in the line before. After your name on line 8, I'm going to type a space, then a plus, and then a space. So this will place that your name variable there, which mine will be Todd, then a plus, which again is not math, as I explained in the last movie, but it's called concatenation, which just means pushing one value onto another value. Like instead of saying Todd min math plus flew down, it will just say Todd, and then continue on here, space flew down. We need to use the plus sign because we're using a variable name here and not a literal string. Or in other words, this is not in quotes. Test the movie. Click the Generate button. And we get a name in there. Let's close that window. Replace your name on line 7, the text value there, or the string that we put in there in quotes, with name_txt.text. So now it will be whatever we write in the text field. Now test the movie. Type your name in the name text field, click the Generate button, and then it shows up in the field on the right. Now let's create an array to hold our verbs. On line 1, let's click after the semicolon, press Enter, create a new variable by typing var and then a space. Let's call this variable verbs. Type a colon, this is going to be an array. Then type space equals space, open square bracket, close square bracket, semicolon. Put your cursor inside of the square brackets. And this is how we create an array. And an array, again, is a variable or a container that holds multiple variables. So type an open quote. And now we're going to type some verbs in, but they need to be past tense because they're going to replace the word flew. So type any past tense verb you can think of. Jumped. Put it in quotes. Then type a comma. Another quote. Ran. Close quote. And that will suffice for now. Let's go to the next line. Create a new variable. Let's call this nouns. Type a colon. The data type is array. Space equals space. Open and close square brackets. Semicolon. Cursor inside the square brackets. and then put some nouns in quotes. So type open quote, going to type bear, close quote, comma, space, open quote, tree, close quote, and that should be good for now. Now what we need to do is replace the verbs and nouns with items from our array inside of our onClick event handler. Let me show you how that works. Let's go down to the word flu. Select it. Let's type a close quote. Then type space plus space. Then type verbs, open square bracket, 0, close square bracket, space plus space, open quote. Now what our text field is going to say is the name that's in the name text field, and then a space, and then verbs, which is our array, index 0. This is going to be added on with concatenation, not math. That's going to grab that from our verbs array, which is defined on line 2. It's going to grab the first index of the array because arrays start at 0, and that value will be jumped. And then there's a plus, and then the quote, and then the text will be literally as it is here. Okay, let's select the nouns and do the same thing. So the noun, first one is mountain. Select that. Type a close quote. Type a space plus space. Nouns, open square bracket, 0, close square bracket, space plus space, open quote. Now we're doing the same thing with the nouns. So what I'm going to do is just copy this. So I'm going to select that open quote and then go back and select the close quote right before the first plus of the nouns. Press Command C or Control C on your keyboard. Select the word snowboard. Then press Command or Control V on your keyboard to paste it. Let's do the same thing with snowball. So I'm going to select the word snowball and then paste by pressing Command V on my keyboard and so Control V on the PC. Test the movie. Type in your name. Click the button to generate. Todd jumped down the bear on his bear, hoping to escape the giant bear. Great. So we've created a really basic game. I'm going to close this window. So that is how to put our array instead of a text field. But what if we wanted to add to the array in the text fields at runtime? And furthermore, what if we wanted to grab a random item out of the array at runtime as well when we click the generate button? I'll show you how to do that in the next movie.